Good morning, guys. This is View from the Pastor's Study. We are going through Who's Your One Prayer Guide, and we are on day 9. Day 9, we're taking 6 days out of the week, and we're going through our prayer guide over a 5-week period. So I want to talk to you about, as a believer, I want to talk to you about your light and how important your light and you as a light are to the conversion of others, to the salvation of others. How important it is to not just share the gospel, but to live out the gospel, to be a light. Both of those go together. Both of those go together, and they ought to exist in tandem with one another. Your lips and your life ought to be together, and you ought to be working to get them in line with one another. But they ought to be a light to the world that shines into the darkness, that shows what the truth is, that points people to the way, all the beneficial things that light does, so that people will glorify God and not you. Let me share with you from Sermon on the Mount, Matthew 5. Let's do 14 through 16 and listen to Jesus' words as us as a corporate body of believers and you as an individual, and about the light we are and the light we share and how that ought to affect those who need Jesus. Remember, we're praying for the lost, unchurched, dechurched, seeking, the prodigal. We're looking for those who are our one. And you know what? You're not limited. You can pray for more than one, but at least pray for one. At least pray for one. And go from there. Go from there. Here's what Jesus told them. He said, "You are the light of the world. A city that's set on a hill cannot be hidden. Nor do they light a lamp and put it under a basket, but on a lampstand, and it gives light to all who are in the house. Let your light so shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven." A city that is set on a hill cannot be hidden. I wonder if the church is a city set on a hill, if we are shining like we should. It can't be hidden. Certainly the world can see if our light is good or bad, and may God help us have a good light as we shine. Maybe we're the ones to take that city and set it on a hill. We're to say, we're to make the church prominent in the world through the shining of that light. And because that light needs to shine, I mean, that really is the reason the church ought to be prominent in your life, is it not? Because there's no light better. There's no other way to find truth and life than through the light of Jesus Christ. And if you know Christ, you have that light within you that ought to shine. So, and you ought to be the light that's shining. So, and of course, common sense, you don't take a light and put it under a basket. It's got a purpose. It's got a purpose to light the world. And there is a light the church ought to bring to the world, that it must bring, that you must bring. That light comes through our lips, through our lives. We shine that light into a world that needs to hear and see Jesus in all we say and do. Those go together. Don't lose that. Light is not just living it. Light is saying it. Light is lips and life lined up, shining the light of Jesus and being a light for Jesus. So Jesus says, "Let your light so shine before men that they may see your good works and not glorify you." Don't ever let anybody glorify you, but glorify your Father in heaven. When people draw attention to you, when the moths come to the light, say, "It's not about me. I'm just a reflector. I'm just a reflector. Let me point you to the real light. Point to Jesus Christ." You will never fail in evangelism if you point 100% to Jesus all the time. So be a light. We're praying for that one, but pray that God will help you to be a light through your lips and your life to that one during this time and beyond. So let me share a model prayer. Father, give me faith to obey you in all things, so that my lost loved one, whatever their name is, my lost loved one can experience firsthand a life that's been transformed by your Spirit. I pray for humility, so I will not merely do what is right to feel good about myself, or in order to flaunt my morality in front of others, or to take glory for myself, like the passage says. Give me wisdom to know how to utilize benefit from, the obedience that you've called me to, and the words you've given me, and I'm including that here, the obedience that you've called me to pursue in order to have opportunities to speak about why my life is important. And don't do the works than the speaking. Speak and do together. Speak and do together. Use the distinctive life your Spirit produces in me and the good works you lead me to perform to cause my lost loved one, my lost friend, my prodigal to long for you. To long for you, Jesus. To long for the light you bring and the hope and the peace and the joy and the meaning that comes only from you and the salvation you bring. In your name I pray. Amen. And I pray that'll be your prayer today, that you will not just be the light, but you'll shine the light for others to see. So you're welcome to join us tonight, Wednesday night, 6:15. We're going through the Gospel of John. And as a matter of fact, I do believe we're going to be looking at Jesus' statement as he heals the blind man about him being the light of the world. I believe that's in John chapter 9. So we'd love to have you come join us 6:15 p.m. online or in person. So God bless you, and you have a great Wednesday.